very vast. It's very fast and very vast. It can go as much as it sees. You know what I'm saying? So that is called al-buraq. That is the animal that they used. He took him to al-Masjid al-Aqsa. There is a miracle here with the time. Because in no time, the Prophet ﷺ went from al-Masjid al-Aqsa to from al-Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid al-Aqsa. So that's a miracle of the time. So this teaches us the importance of al-Masjid al-Aqsa, as we mentioned at the beginning of Surah al-Isra. And they mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, it was our first qibla. You know that? You know that the qibla was changed from al-Masjid al-Aqsa to al-Masjid al-Haram. For many readers, not our topic. There's a wisdom behind that. We spoke about it before, changing the qibla from al-Masjid al-Aqsa to al-Masjid al-Haram. That tells us actually how important al-Masjid al-Aqsa. We used to pray to al-Masjid al-Aqsa. That's subhanAllah, it's our aqidah with us. Look what is going on and what is happening in al-Aqsa and around al-Aqsa. It's very sad for each and every Muslim to watch this and can't do anything except dua. You know, all what we can do is what? Is just dua. But even that, subhanAllah, many Muslims, they don't do. They forget about that. Forget their brothers in dua. They forget about Masjid al-Aqsa. This should be our main qadiyya, our main issue, main problem. Or subhanAllah, teach ourselves and our kids about al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Now, what happened over there? When the Prophet ﷺ went all the way to al-Masjid al-Aqsa, what happened? He met all the messengers and the prophets in al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Then he led the prayers in al-Masjid al-Aqsa with the messengers and the prophets. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to support him, right? Because he was in hard situation, right? And he was in Ta'if, and you know the story. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to support him by sending the messengers and the prophets to tell him, relax, be strong, be positive. We are here. We went through all of these things that you're going through. Look back to Musa alayhi salam, to Nour alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمَا آمَنَ لِمُوسَى إِلَّا ذُرِّيَّةٌ مِنْ قَوْمِهِ عَلَى خَوْفٍ مِنْ فِرْعَوْنَ وَمَلَئِهِمْ أَنْ يَفْتِنَهُمْ. So only few people believed in Musa alayhi salam. Nour alayhi salam, 950 years. And only few people, وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Only few people believed in Nour alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, meet the prophets and the messengers to strengthen him, to tell him that to be positive and to remind him that all of these prophets went through the same thing or even worse. That's when the Prophet ﷺ, after the journey, he came back very strong. He wanted to deliver the da'wah and the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happened there? We said he led the prayers. After that, Jibreel alayhi salam, he came with two cups. Two cups. What are these two cups? The first cup was full of milk, and the other cup was full of wine or alcohol. Then the Prophet ﷺ grabbed the one that is full of what? Milk, right? Then Jibreel alayhi salam said, اخترت الفطرة. It's like you chose the fitra, the natural in it. And had you chosen the wine or alcohol, your ummah will go astray. So subhanAllah, the Prophet ﷺ chose what? Chose the milk. That actually teaches us actually, you know, how the Prophet ﷺ used to love the milk. It's narrated that the Prophet ﷺ, every time he had milk, he used to say, oh Allah, make it blessed and give us like it more. But when he eats sallallahu meat, he used to say, oh Allah, make it blessed and give us something better. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the milk, he says, give us like it, something like it, in order to give us more of it. Then, but when it comes to the meat and or the beef, whatever, that is called tharid in that time, the meat, he used to say, oh Allah, make it blessed and give us something better. So that teaches us also how the Prophet ﷺ used to love the milk. And also this time, Jibreel opened up the heart of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Opened up, literally, physically, opened up the heart of the Prophet ﷺ. And he washed it with water from the Jannah, from the paradise. Why? Washed it from anything that has to do with the dunya. Washed it from anything that we all have, like jealousy, like hatred, like maybe racism, any bad thing. Washed it. This is not the first time that the heart of the Prophet ﷺ is open. If you read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ when he was young, the house of Halima, Sa'diyah. So the Prophet ﷺ, his heart was open. His heart was open when he was young. So 2 times the heart of the Prophet ﷺ was very clean, super clean. So that happened also in Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Why Jerusalem? What Al-Quds? Jerusalem could be the gate to Jannah in the end of time. In the end of time, will be resurrected from one place. According to the scholars, many scholars said it could be Jerusalem. It could be Al-Quds, will be resurrected in this land and go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why Jerusalem? Because we know what we just mentioned, the importance of the Masjid Al-Aqsa. And it was our Qibla, and then it was shifted to Al-Masjid Al-Haram. After that, Jibreel alayhi salam took the Prophet ﷺ and he flew all the way up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why it's called the magnificent journey. He went all the way up to the 7th heaven, 7th sky. So every time he knocks, Jibreel knocks, like knocking the door of the heaven, the sky, you ask him, who there? Jibreel is say, Jibreel with Muhammad. Then they will ask, was he sent to people? Which means that they knew that there will be a prophet who will be sent to people in the end of time. It's going to be the last prophet, who is Khatam al-Mursaleen, the Prophet Muhammad. And they do the same thing, and they open the doors for them, they open until the 7th heaven. Next, he will see some prophets in the sky, from the first sky to the 7th. In the first heaven, he will see who? Adam alayhi salam. In the second one, he will see Ishaq and Yahya, Isaac and John in English. In the third heaven, he will see Yusuf alayhi salam. In the fourth heaven, he will see Idris alayhi salam. In the fifth, he will see Harun alayhi salam. In the sixth, he will see Musa alayhi salam. In the seventh, he will see Ibrahim alayhi salam. All of these prophets to support the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Again, this entire journey as well is to do what? Is to support the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam and try to make him, to give him, the energy back to deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What did he see there? What did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam see in the sky or in the heaven? Number one, he saw something that we read in Surah Al-Tur. We say, وَالطُّورِ وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ فِي رَقٍّ مَنْشُورٍ وَالْبَيْتِ الْمَعْمُورِ. Right? Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur in the heaven, or in the sky, is equivalent to Al-Kaaba. You know what I'm saying? So this Bayt al-Ma'mur is like Kaaba. We go and make tawaf around the Kaaba, right? This Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur is in the heaven, and it's equivalent to the Kaaba. And every day, 70,000 of the angels come and make tawaf around this house, this Bayt Ma'mur, and they go back and they never come back. And they leave and they never come back. Which means we have so many angels, right? If every day we have 70,000 of the angels come and do tawaf, that means we have so many angels, we don't know the numbers. But we know some of them, Jibreel alayhi salam, Israfil, we know some of them, and they are, they are in charge of doing some jobs, like the guardian of the Jannah, the guardian of the hellfire, Malik and Rudwan, we know some of them. But this Bayt al-Ma'mur, the Prophet ﷺ saw it over there. Number 2, he saw the world of the angels, because he never saw it before. Probably he saw Jibreel alayhi salam, but Jibreel, when he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, he comes in different forms. He doesn't come in the human form, sometimes he doesn't always in the human form, but in the original form, he doesn't see the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ saw the world of the angels. Number 3, he saw Jibreel in his original form. Number 4, he saw Sidrat al-Muntaha. It's a tree. Sidrat al-Muntaha, which is called the utmost boundary. That utmost boundary is between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the 7th heaven. Once you go there, nobody would go there from the earth. Nobody from the angels. Nobody's like, that's it. It's at the end. And it was narrated that the Prophet ﷺ went through it to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there's a difference between the scholars. So did the Prophet ﷺ see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What the answer? Did he see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? The Prophet ﷺ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, لا تدركه الأبصار, that nobody could see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, with his eyes. You cannot see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your eye. What did the Prophet ﷺ see? He saw a light. That's what was he, when he was asked, he said, what did you see? He said, رَأَيْتُ Nour. He saw a light, complete light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allahu Nour as-samawati wal-ard. Allah is the light of the heaven and the earth. Number 5, he saw the Jannah and the Nour. Yes, he saw the Jannah and the Nour. And he saw actually two things, two rivers in the Jannah that they exist now in the dunya. They exist now. These two rivers, what rivers? Number 1, Al-Furat, which is in Iraq. Number 2 is the Nile, which is in Egypt, Sudan. So these two Niles or rivers were from the rivers of the Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ saw it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, عند سدرة المنتهى عندها Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed the Prophet ﷺ to see his light. The last thing, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or what did the Prophet ﷺ receive after all of that? Taking him all the way to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Taking him all the way up. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to prescribe the salah. First of all, we know that is to make it easy to strengthen the Prophet, right? Number 2 is to prescribe the prayers, to make it obligatory. That, hey, you need to pray. حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى. Like, observe your prayers, maintain your prayers, especially the middle prayers, Asr prayer and Fajr prayers. Maintain your prayers. Be consistent in doing the prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, now I want you to imagine, to ponder that. Allah himself taking the Prophet all the way up to prescribe the prayer that tells us how important the prayer is. SubhanAllah, when we talk about the prayer, it take me back to like, hey, what else do we have to do in this dunya other than the prayer? Prayers in Islam, the second pillar and the first pillar after saying Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And when you talk about zakah and siyam and hajj, we always say that these are the pillars of Islam that not everyone has to do it. Like hajj, probably most of us have not done hajj because you're not able to do it. Like zakah, probably some people don't have the money to pay the zakah, so they don't have to. So prayer is the most important thing. So yeah, if you're sick, you can do it. You don't have to do it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this journey, He prescribed what? The prayers. And when the Prophet ﷺ came down, and I'll tell you what happened exactly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed 50 prayers. Can you imagine? 50 prayers. So it's like 50 prayers. If you count it, you will pray every half an hour. Every 30 minutes you'll come to the masjid. You live in the masjid, right? Or we will pray and we won't do anything. That tells us that how beloved the prayer is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every 30 minutes, like 50 prayers a day, that's too much, right? So when the Prophet came down to Musa, he told, no, that's too much for your people. Go back and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy. And He would reduce it to 45. Then He comes back and forth, 40, 30, 20. Then until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, it's 5 in number, and 50 in reward. See how blessed we are? So you pray 5, but you're still getting the reward of what? 50 prayers. Like, as if like the Fajr prayer is equal to 10 prayers. So it's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that tells us to be, consistent in the prayer as much as we can. Even pray more the optional prayers, the nafli prayers, sunnah prayers. If you don't do it, try to do it. If you don't do the night prayer, just 2 rak'ahs before you sleep, you should do that. Now the journey, I'm just going over it. The journey is over. And the Prophet ﷺ is going back to Mecca. On his way back, the Prophet ﷺ saw a caravan. This caravan, they lost a camel, and they were looking for the camel. The Prophet ﷺ saw them. When he came back to Mecca, and in the morning, he wanted to tell people, it's like people already rejected the message of the Prophet ﷺ. When he goes over there and tells them that I went to Allah and I went to Aqsa, these people won't believe. So we saw Abu Lahab, it's like, are you going to tell people this? He said, yes, I will tell people what happened exactly. And he gave him the evidence that he saw the caravan lost their camel. And they actually asked the people who were in this caravan, did you lose any camel? Then they said, yes. And the Prophet ﷺ told them about the same exact place. That was a sign for them that the Prophet ﷺ was truthful, but still they rejected the message of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But when the Prophet ﷺ told people, who was the first one who came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, I believe? It is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. That's why his name is Siddiq. Siddiq in the Arabic language means he constantly believes. Everything the Prophet ﷺ says, he would believe, and he trusts the Prophet ﷺ and said, I believe in anything the Prophet ﷺ would do. Just like in the very beginning when the Prophet ﷺ stood on top of the mountain of Uhud, said, if I tell you that there are people from behind this, and there are horses, people with horses coming from behind this valley, and they're going to attack you. If I tell you that, are you going to believe in me? Then they said, are you going to believe me? Then they said, yes. We never heard that you're lying. We never heard that you're dishonest. You're always honest. You're always truthful. You're always telling the truth. Whatever you say, we will follow it. We will believe it. And he said, Sallallahu I am a messenger from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And once he said so, Sallallahu he's been in a hard situation. Everything he says, they don't believe it anymore, even though they were used to believe before that. But now when it comes to their aqeedah, their arrogance, subhanallah, they said, نَتَّبِعُ مَا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا. We would follow whatever we saw our forefathers or ancestors doing. So it's kind of like arrogance. When he came back, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he told people that he saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what happened to the Prophet after this journey? What happened? The Prophet became what? Stronger, right? He became stronger. It means, and it tells us, whenever you have a hard situation, you turn your face to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you will be stronger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the energy, inshallah, to do it. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, remember in the beginning of the lecture, we said what? 6 people came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I told you, keep this in mind, right? These 6 people, they told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they're going to invite other people, right? They came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to pledge allegiance again. And they brought 12 people with them. They were 12. And they had many Muslims that they left back then. Then they prepared for the hijrah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that when the da'wah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina started with these people. There's always light out of the darkness. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Like after the darkness, the light will come. When it becomes so dark in the Fajr time, what happens after that? It becomes so bright in the morning. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَالضُّحَى. This is the duha time, the brightness of the light of the day. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. It won't be always like light, always dark. No. Sometimes it will be dark, other times it will be well lit, and inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring us out of this difficulty, out of this hardship, as long as we're with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and rely on Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding, Ya Rabbi Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins, Ya Rabbi Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all, Ya Rabbi Ameen. اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وما أنت أعلم به منا. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا إلا رحمته ولا مظلوما إلا نصرته ولا ظالما إلا هديته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا لك فيها رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها ويسرتها يا رب العالمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم بلغنا رمضان، اللهم بلغنا رمضان. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا